Why don't you sell it? Because it's a racist pizza.
And welcome to the bonus content with the Queenie Bitch. The episode was hilarious. We just talk about politics and,
Yeah.
and things like
Polydicks. Lots of
politics. That is like the dicks of polyamorous couples. And
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about this. Like, I don't know if you saw like what Tony, the Kill Tony guy, did on the Puerto Rican joke.
No, I saw that he was at the Trump rally, and that was the end. I don't really care
Okay.
about Tony Hinchcliffe.
I'm gonna just.
That's how I found out what he looked like. It was literally because I hadn't even paid attention. I was just like, I know he's a guy.
Well, there's a lot of like going on. Like I believe the moment the bonus content is out, probably is over it. But the joke was a stupid, super, really bad joke about Puerto Rico. The joke was, and I'm quoting. This is not my joke. It was Tony's joke. Is I don't know if you know we're living a really bad moment in history. Literally, there's a island of garbage. I believe it's called Puerto Rico. Shit, okay.
It's a bad joke.
It's
a really bad joke.
It is a really bad joke.
It's a bad joke. I would say mostly because you're telling it in a room of people that probably actually think that. So it's kind of like this affirming thing. Like if you had said it to a mostly Mexican crowd or Puerto Rican group and they could tell that you were joking, then I'm like, okay, fine. But like you're saying it in front of a bunch of racists.
That were like, finally someone said it.
That's the thing. That's like the Dave Chappelle of it all when he stopped the Dave Chappelle show.
Because people were like,
because he could tell that people were laughing from the other side.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to be a part of that.
Yeah. But the conversation is like, I believe the joke is so bad and so like bad timing with the joke that I believe, this is my belief and we can discuss this, that he did it on purpose to change the agenda or the talking on the Democratic Party, because 1 week before the election, you cannot be for 2-3 days straight, because this is all they're talking about, talk about a joke. It's like you have more important topics, more important agendas to go to. Your whole agenda and your whole like points of talking cannot derail that much for a joke that someone did.
Yeah.
As bad as the joke is, because it's a terrible joke, but it's like, I believe he did it on purpose because they knew that was going to happen.
Well, he just wanted to distract from the fact that he looks like a desiccating twink. He just really doesn't want everyone to realize that he looks like that guy at the gym that is cruising. But no one wants him anymore because his time was 10 years ago. Like that's Tony Hinchcliffe.
He looks like Stuart Little wanted to be a real boy.
Yeah, but only got halfway.
He just stopped in the middle.
It's just like you're kind of half mouse, half you'll be fine.
But I believe that it did that. So the topic was basically first debate. What do you think? If you think that it was like, I'll do this to make them change the topic, or he was like, just a fucking bad joke, and that he did.
I think he just thought that joke would work there.
That's the debate. I don't know.
Yeah, I really just think from just knowing what his show is, it's this self-aggrandizing thing. He's like, this joke will work here. He thought of something that he thought was funny, which arguably is a little bit funny.
Yeah, but it's
right?
like not the moment.
But it's also how you tell it, but also it's consider the source, right? It's both of those things.
Yeah, and the moment where you're saying it
right.
at a rally.
You're saying at a political rally for a person who's literally put Latinos in cages. And then you're going to say, and you're going to make a joke like that. Like if you had made that at like at a club, right? If that was on a club and the people that you were saying it about were in the room and you were testing to see if it would work. I mean,
it's just
then
like
I'm just
hacky, but
well, it's just at that point I could say, depending on the material around that joke, that would be the deciding for me on if it was a good joke or not, right? If there was no refrain from the racism of it, like there was no resolve,
That's
and
the
it just
intro.
and it just kept going, and like that I'd be like, okay, I don't like this,
Stop it.
you know?
And the topic going with this is like, this is the power of one comic who, I believe, I'm so sorry, but I believe he's not on the top 10 comics in the country.
Yeah, don't tell him that.
Yeah, I won't tell him that. He won't. Now he's like looking at the
He'll
podcast.
be watching
He's
this.
watching the bonus content of
Yeah.
episode
He
31.
heard I was coming.
And he's like, this I will never have.
Yeah,
I just get a.
Never, ever, ever have you.
I just have an email from Kill Tony. He's like, please don't come here. Like, what the fuck? But
I didn't submit. Well, don't.
well, don't do it. Like, we don't want your Puerto Rican ass. He's like, I'm Venezuelan. Like, worse. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I am part Puerto Rican, so he'd be kind of right.
But the it's like the power of one joke of one person. Like, again, I believe if you see any post of anyone like that is like says democratic, they're like really like, what the fuck, this joke. They put it on their stories like this guy's an asshole, but like is what they're talking about. It's like, we're 1 week away from the election. There's people who are voting right now. Like, this is not the conversation you should be having. So do you believe like this amount of power should be given to like one joke?
I mean, I feel like no. Focusing on him is not as important as focusing on the fact that that's something that a lot of people think. You know, I mean, and I think what we should be doing is, you know, focusing on policy. You know, the entertainers are there to entertain. Let them do that. When they walk off the stage, stop talking about it. Because what's he gonna do? Go and apologize and now everything's fixed? Like, sure, damage was done. Like, if you want to stop watching Kill Tony and you want to take away his platform after this, I don't care. Go for it. You know, like, I don't necessarily agree with cancel culture generally, but at the same time, if you want to stop consuming his content and let his ratings fall enough that like maybe he loses some sponsors, I think that's great. Yeah, but I mean, do I think we now need to be sitting here and then forget about the fact that we have an actual xenophobe who has a real chance of winning? Like, that's the real issue for me.
And the people behind him is like, I believe the real issue is like, okay, he said this. If you agree, like, let's have a talk about this.
I mean, it's like, I already didn't like him because I had heard, like, again, I hadn't even seen him, but like I had friends who have done Kill Tony and the stories they've told me of him. I was just like, oh, he sounds like a dick, you know. And then I saw that he had made a racist joke. I didn't even look what it was. I was just like, yeah, that tracks. It just moved on. Like, yeah, sure, probably. And but yeah, no. From this, I'm like, yeah, no, I didn't like him, and it seems like I was correct to not like him. I think the joke was bad because of the place he said it in. I think it wasn't necessarily a great joke, but I think it could be funny if he had said it in other ways. If he had I could see a comic, I could see a comic pulling that off.
Yeah.
Right. I can see like a good comic. I could really see a good comic.
Don't listen to this part.
Know
Tony.
how
Just
to do
skip
it.
this part.
Right. But at the same time, yeah, was it appropriate for the time? Was it appropriate at a political rally? Absolutely not.
It's like in a roast battle, I believe that would be a nice joke for a roast battle, like just to roast someone. Like, yeah, you're for.
Oh, that would be funny if they're like he was actually born on a trash barge. We call it Puerto Rico. That would be could be funny.
But
that could be funny.
It's a different moment. Different, like different. I would love to roast you. I don't know. Like, I believe you will destroy me. I believe you're like.
Yeah. Well, just because they won't understand you. I'll get an accent. I'll do a German accent. You do an American accent, and it will be great.
Yeah, like.
Can you do an American accent?
No.
Can you work
Do you
on
think
it?
I don't try to fake it when I'm in roast battle?
I mean, I don't know.
I really try to fake it, but the judges always say like one comment like that. I want to do this. They're not gonna watch this. I want to print these kind of jokes that Christian jokes were funny just if I could understand them, and every like different part of like this, but the same. It's like I'm still trying to understand what Christian said. Like every joke like that. I'm write it in a put it in a folder and give it to like people in the audience. And when it's time of the judges or the other comic does that, be like, put the folder out,
Yeah.
and they can read it, and they're like, try to be original, try to do something original.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll really work out. Give the audience homework, Christian. That'll
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, that will work out.
That'll be a great option. They'll be sitting there like, I'm not gonna read. I'm already drunk and it's dark.
People just grab it like, did you handwrite this?
It's
Like, what the
10
fuck?
o'clock. It's a dark room. I'm not reading your note, you dumbass.
Why did you handwrite it?
They
Like,
keep telling you to be understandable. Maybe you take the note. I don't know.
you have a lot of. The notes has just a lot of typos.
Yeah,
like,
they're like literal proof that you're the problem.
what the fuck does this is Green is not right like this.
Yeah, they're like, we didn't understand you either, and we're looking at this, and apparently you've been told before. So,
Okay, I'm not gonna do it. I'm so sorry, I'm not gonna do it.
it's incriminating. He shouldn't do that.
But I tried this with Zoe. She was saying like Mexican, more like accurate to Mexicans roast, and it worked because like people is like, yeah, you're the same.
Oh yeah.
And I was trying like to be like, yeah,
Like
that's
Venezuela is one of those Mexican countries. Yeah,
exactly.
100%.
And I was trying to go by like, that's to Mexico, not to a Venezuelan, you racist bitch. First time it worked.
Mhm.
Second time it worked. By the third time they're like, no, like it's funny, whatever. Like
Yeah.
the joke that she cracked everyone the most, and the judges loved the joke. It was like, Christian has a major in rice and a PhD in beans. People lost it, and I was like, that's so Mexican. We don't eat that in Venezuela. You know
Yeah,
why?
you
We don't
would've
have
said,
food.
If you had said fucking fried cheese, just talk about a lot
Arepa.
of fried cheese and arepas. That would be the whole thing.
Yeah, but I was like, that's fucking Mexican. People are like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You can't talk about arepas because Middle America doesn't know what those are. Right? They're gonna be like, Venezuelan food. They're out. You talk about it's like tacos. You're like, yes.
This is the tacos different shape.
Yeah, like you have to make it a little reductionist if you really want the broad spectrum
But
audience to get it.
Mexicans like gorditas. That is like basically. I like that they're called gorditas because it translates to little fatties.
There was like there was this one menu item we had back when at one of the restaurants I worked at, and it was named after a Puerto Rican like a politician or like hero or something.
Okay.
So everyone knew that it was supposed to be Puerto Rican, but it was all Mexican ingredients, and like half the staff was Puerto Rican. So they're all just like, none of this is correct. Why don't you sell it? Because it's a racist pizza. You made me.
The Puerto Rican pizza, corn, chipotle.
And all the Mexicans are like, this is fire. They're like,
This is fire. But yeah, with that, we're gonna end the bonus content. Again, don't give that much power to one joke. Like, it's a joke. Just get over it. Keep with your life. And I believe at the moment this episode is out, I hope.
Yeah, and
Because-
stop watching Kill Tony. I think that would be a good thing to
Yeah,
do.
watch another Latino with a podcast. I'm gonna be canceled either way because I have said a lot of shit here. But
Yeah,
but maybe later. Like, I won't be in a rally. I won't say that in a rally.
yeah. Just
I'll-
give it some time.
Adios. So you gotta say adios in
Oh.
Spanish.
Adios.
Ha 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 ha.